Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are discussing the status of Serina in Halo Wars 2. So with Halo Wars 2 being set a long time after Halo Wars 1, the current state of Serina is confusing and uncertain, to say the least. So to make it easier to predict her status, I'm going to split this video into two halves. The first half being reasons why Serina could be in Halo Wars 2, and the second half being reasons why she might not be in Halo Wars 2. And then from there on, we'll try and explain this status further. So, what reasons are there for Serina being in Halo Wars 2? Well, my first reason is that smart AIs have the ability to go dormant and almost deactivate themselves in order to try and stave off rampancy and elongate their lifespan. Now, the downside to doing so is that, obviously, seeing as they aren't actually active, they of course can't do anything. For example, they can't research a nearby planet or monitor a ship's life support systems. Now, if Serina does show up in Halo Wars 2, this would be a logical explanation for it. While she's dormant, the Spirit of Fire's crew would easily be able to maintain the ship, and there's definitely more than enough of them left to survive without an AI controlling everything. My second reason is that seeing as Halo Wars 2 is set during the creator's reign, Serina actually stands a pretty damn good chance at appearing in Halo Wars 2. Of course, it does depend on if 343 and Creative Assembly actually choose to include the created in the story at all, but since Cortana seems to have found this perfect cure for rampancy in the form of the Forerunner domain, it's pretty possible that she could have cured Serina of her rampancy. Serina might not even need to leave the Spirit of Fire to get cured by it. It's possible that Cortana could just, in layman's terms, connect her to it and cure her. Either that, or there's a node or connection of some sort to the domain on the Ark, and somehow Serina makes it down there and enters it under Cortana's promise that her rampancy will be cured. However, you've got to remember that Serina won't have been rampant for a couple months like Cortana was before she found the domain. Serina will have been technically rampant for 22 years. That's if she doesn't go into a dormant state at any point. 22 years is one hell of a long time to remain rampant, and I'm not sure if an AI could even survive being rampant for that long. I'll talk a bit more about this in the next section, but for now let's get on to my third point as to why Serina will be in Halo Wars 2. Now, this is a point that I've spoken about countless times, and I'm sure you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's relevant here. The Halo Wars 1 Legendary ending. This heavily supports Serina still being in Halo Wars 2, that is, if the ending does happen to lead directly into Halo Wars 2 like it suggests. Now, this ending could link to many situations. It could link to the original trailer that we got for Halo Wars 2, with the Banished on the Spirit of Fire, although that's unlikely now, seeing as the first time the crew encounter the Banished is supposed to be on the Ark. It could also link to the way the Spirit of Fire actually gets to the Ark. So a theory at the moment is that it drifts towards a new portal to the Ark or another portal in the galaxy that we don't exactly know exists yet, and Serina could be waking Captain Cutter up to inform him that they've just jumped through this massive slipspace portal to an unknown foreigner artifact. Lastly, and in my opinion most likely, it could be a link to the Flood infection form that we saw in Escalation, and right now this is definitely my best bet. We've been told by Grimm and Brian Reed that this infection form will be explained in Tales from Slipspace coming out this year, very coincidentally before Halo Wars 2. This story could explain Serina's status, as if what she's saying in the legendary ending is about the infection form getting on the ship, then it could confirm her somehow still being alive. However, we don't know what year this frame of the infection form is set yet, so it may just create more questions instead of answer previous ones. Either way, having a story about the Spirit of Fire only a few months before Halo Wars 2 is the perfect way to explain why Serina will or will not be in Halo Wars 2. Okay, so now let's move on to the reasons why Serina may not be in Halo Wars 2. Now, the first reason is the obvious one. She's been deactivated due to her going rampant. So when the crew of the Spirit of Fire realised that Serina was going crazy and becoming highly unstable, I assume they will have taken action and pretty much just shut her down and effectively killed her. However, one thing slightly contradicts this. We're told in the Halo Wars 2 behind the scenes video that the crew wake up from cryosleep to find themselves above the Ark.
Cutter and the crew of the Spirit of Fire wake up from cryosleep and they find themselves at the Ark. They have no idea how they got there.
Now, the way that Dan Ayub phrases this makes it sound like the first time they wake up, after going into cryo at the end of Halo Wars 1 of course, is the start of the campaign, where they wake up above the Ark. Now, if this is true, I highly doubt some random crew member, no matter how high up or significant they were, would randomly deactivate the ship's AI without talking to and consulting with the captain of the ship first. Yes, there's a chance that they did it to save the ship and they had no other choice, but still, I think it's pretty unlikely. Now, my second point links to my previous point about Serina being rampant for 22 years. Now, if she was rampant for that long on the Spirit of Fire with the same level of control that she has over the ship in Halo Wars 1, then there's a high chance that she will have fucked with the ship due to her being so unstable. Whether it's messing with the life support or opening random airlocks, if she's been rampant for 22 years, she's going to be going crazy and will have literally no control over herself or her actions. Now, seeing as the Spirit of Fire looks perfectly fine and dandy in Halo Wars 2, even with the damage seemingly repaired from when it crashed into that Covenant ship, it's safe to say that this hasn't happened, so Serina is either with the Created and cured of her rampancy, or more likely has been deactivated by the crew. So, where do I stand on this? Well, I actually have two stances. My first one is that if we find out before release that the Created will be present in the story, then I'm pretty confident that Serina will show up in some form, most likely cured of her rampancy and siding with the Created. However, I honestly hope this doesn't happen, as Serina always seemed like a loyal AI, but at the same time, Cortana was arguably the most loyal AI out of all of smart AIs in existence, and look where she is now. My other stance is that if we find out that the Created won't be present in the main story, then I think they'll discuss Serina's descent into rampancy and of course subsequent deactivation in Tales from Slipspace, and likely explain the Halo Wars 1 legendary ending as Serina alerting the crew that the Flood infection form and possibly even more Flood are on board. And that's it for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on Serina's status in Halo Wars 2 and get the discussion going. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, as right now we have little to no hard information, so it's all speculation. My next video will be a discussion on which Halo ring will be present in Halo Wars 2. Now, during E3 we were given two glimpses at a Halo ring being produced by and orbiting next to the Ark, and I have some ideas as to which ring this could be and also what it means for the story. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you then.